We throw away so many of these and they are only used one time. One time. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about my experience with eco-friendly products versus non-eco-friendly products and why they are good for our environment and why we should be using them. So I want to mention before I get into this video, I am going to make a part 2 because there's a lot of eco-friendly products I want to try, first of all. Second of all, I want to mention why plastic isn't good for our environment, and it's because it has PET, and that is like polyethylene and like some other word I can't pronounce, but pretty much means that this kind of plastic is pretty much indestructible, and that's because bacteria can't break it down, so it lasts in our environment forever, and then when it does decompose after decades and decades, it leaves toxic waste in our world. So let's get into this video. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Q-tips. So these Q-tips are packaged in wood, and the stem is wood, the tips are silicone, and the reason why silicone is more eco-friendly than plastic is because it's made from silica, and to make silica it's sand, and plastics are, well, some plastics are made by mining crude oil, and that is why silicone is a lot more eco-friendly. The thing about these Q-tips is that I didn't feel like they really cleaned my ears very good, and the original Q-tips that are offered in stores usually have plastic stems, and some of them are 100% cotton, which means they're biodegradable, but it's a lot better to use reusable items than one-time use because it creates more waste. Also, Q-tips are very small, so they're not recyclable, and they are so tiny and lightweight, so they end up contaminating our oceans, rivers, and seas. So I would recommend giving them a try. For me, they didn't really work out. I will try them again, but as of right now, they weren't 100% a yes. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is self-care items. I was gifted this during Christmas, and it has a solid lotion, a face lotion, a lip balm, and vanilla perfume. So I really like that these are in compostable tubes. They're also made from natural ingredients. So it's a good thing that they're not made from plastic, because I can just make a hole in my backyard, throw it in there, and it will decompose. Versus the plastic ones that create waste, and plastic is not biodegradable. So that's why I really appreciate these, and I use the lip balm all the time. The only thing about the lotions is that I don't like rubbing it on my face because it collects like oils and anything that I have on my face, and then I feel like I spread bacteria and then I break out. So maybe if I like wash my hands and then apply it on my hand and then my face every time, then these will work a lot better. But that's just like the number one thing that kind of sucks about this tube face lotion, is that I can't just squeeze it out and not spread germs and stuff. Another thing is that it has natural ingredients, so usually most products have chemicals inside of them, and I'm not too sure what kind of chemicals. I just know that they're toxic and they're not that good for our environment. And when you wear, for example, sunscreen, go in the ocean, the sunscreen comes off in the water, it affects the animals in the water and also the ocean, and little by little there's a bigger picture, and we add more and more waste and affect our ocean, which is kind of crazy because the ocean is so huge, but when there's so many of us and we go in the water, little by little we affect it. Even more than just the water we affect, it's a lot of things in our life. And also, like, chapsticks aren't recyclable because usually there's many different kinds of layers of plastic on it, so they can't, like, the people who recycle, you know, with the big machines, and I don't really know how recycling works. I've never been to a facility, but when I was researching it, these are really tiny, they clog the machines, and then they have to spend a lot of time and money and resources to unclog the machines. So these are definitely great, and I'm definitely going to look into figuring out my issue with the face lotion, but I would recommend them. The lip balm, like I said, I pretty much use it every other day, so that is a win for me. So the next item I got from my big pile of eco-friendly products I'm going to be showing you is a tongue scrubber. And the reason it's bad is because it's made of plastic. So it takes like 1,000 years for plastic to break down, and I'm surprised that we still have more space to put all of our trash. I'm surprised landfills are not overfilling and we're having a problem with dealing with all of our trash, which I'm sure there is a problem, but our trash still ends up going somewhere. Anyway, back to the tongue scrubber. I would 100% recommend the tongue scrubber. The only downfall with this is that it creates rust, but you could take it off with vinegar, salt, and flour, and it lasts you, well, for me, it's lasted me a couple months, and I'm sure it will last me for a lifetime. So the next item I'm going to be talking about is reusable bags. And these are bad because they don't last very long. You use them like once. They're not very reusable since they are very thin, but I have been using these for months and they've lasted me for a long time. They're durable. The only downfall is they are a pain to clean. Like, it's hard to get in the cracks and it's just a pain. You can't put them in the dishwasher. You have to wash them by hand, and if you use them a lot, it is time consuming, but it's worth it. It's worth it not having these in landfills, and I have like 9 of these, and to know that I haven't been putting these back into our world to make it worse and catch fire, I'm happy cleaning these. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is utensils. We throw away so many of these and they are only used one time. I was reading somewhere that there's like 40 billion of these that are thrown away every year, and that's crazy. So it's good to use these. Reusable, wood, decomposable. And the only downfall with these is that when you use them and you're on the go, they get dirty and it's kind of nasty to have little food particles everywhere. I would recommend carrying like a napkin or something and cleaning them, but that's the only downfall, is having to be out and about and not having a way to clean these right away. Maybe just carry wipes with you. That's been the only pain. And the straws, especially like if you drink a smoothie or something, it's gross. You have a bunch of gunk in there, and they give you this little straw cleaner. I don't know what these are made out of, and I'm pretty sure it's like nylon or plastic or something, which is another downfall that these came with. But using these over and over and over versus creating plastic waste is so much better. And the reason why the plastic utensils are not recyclable is because they're small, and as I was mentioning earlier, they fall through the machines and then end up causing problems, and they have to get repaired, and it's just a mess. So they are not recyclable, and on top of that, they're plastic. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to talk about is deodorant. It smells good, but I wanted to make it its own section. I could have added in the self-care part that I mentioned earlier, but I didn't really have a great experience with the deodorants I tried. I tried 2 different kinds of eco-friendly deodorants. They didn't last very long, and my armpits smelled bad within 30 minutes. So if you know of a deodorant that's eco-friendly and it lasts long, please let me know in the comments. I want to mention that the spray-on kind is not eco-friendly either because it leaves chemicals in the air. I'm not a scientist. I don't know exactly what kinds of chemicals. I just know that it's not environmentally friendly. And earlier that I was talking about self-care products, I brought up perfume. And when you spray it on, it creates ozone pollution. And I didn't know that. And it's just crazy that little things add up to so much. Like the sunscreen earlier, as I was saying, when you go in the ocean and it comes off, that pollutes the ocean. And it's so crazy to think these little things are causing such a bigger impact, like they're part of a bigger picture. And it's just crazy to think like small things that we do, like wear deodorant, put on sunscreen, are affecting our environment. And if we just make a little bit more eco-friendly choices, we can make a difference. Okay, so the last item that I'm going to talk about today, because I have so many and there's so much information to research and to give you all and to learn, to take in. So this is the last product I'm going to mention. So plastic toothbrushes usually have nylon bristles, and nylon is not biodegradable. The rest of the toothbrush is also made from nylon and a plastic called like polypropylene, and I don't even know what that is. I don't even know the difference between these plastics, and it's just crazy to think that everything we do affects our environment, and if we all make a few changes to try to be a little bit more eco-friendly, we can make our world a lot healthier. From brushing our teeth in the morning with a decomposable toothbrush to deciding not to use one-time use utensils, we can really help our environment. And I love learning about this stuff. It's a lot, and if you're first starting, it's a lot to change your lifestyle, and it's difficult. It's not easy, and some products are gonna work and some products are not. But if there's anything I've learned, is to not be too hard on yourself, because there's so much to change in our life so we could be a little bit more eco-friendly. And one of the things that I'm thankful for is that big companies are starting to be more sustainable and offer more products to customers. And the reason why is because there's more of a demand, and our world is being affected by everything we do. And some people don't believe in global warming, some people do, but our environment is being affected by it. Everything we do has an effect. Like in the morning, if you don't brush your teeth for 12 years, your teeth are gonna start to decay. If we're throwing a bunch of waste into our environment, it's creating a lot of ozone pollution, our world is going to start getting hotter. So it's just, there's so much to learn. I would just say that if you take it one step at a time and change a few things in your life to be more eco-friendly, we can help our world together versus just a few people making some changes. And it's not going to be easy, and you don't have to be 100% eco-friendly. I'm not. It's so hard. It's difficult to make these changes, but I think that once we start educating ourselves and learning about it, it starts to become easier, and then we create new habits, and in the end, it's going to be worth it, because our world will be here for more generations, and they won't have to suffer from the lack of effort we put into creating new daily habits that are a lot better for our world. So if you like this video, please let me know, because I have so many other products that I want to talk about. There's just so much to fit into this video, and I don't want it to go for too long, because I feel like everything matters, and I want to break everything down because there's a lot for me to research and digest. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.